People who refuse to buy clothes they will not wear operate from self-knowledge. They change shopping from an emotional reaction into a practical prediction. A lot of wardrobe waste starts when people shop for a life they do not live. They buy an avatar for a fantasy version of themselves, for a version who attends formal events, for a version who goes out dancing. They buy for a person with a different personality. This behavior connects to a psychological framework known as the wearer-clothing relationship. This framework examines how we connect with what we put on our bodies. Researchers study this connection. They explain that unworn clothes link to who we used to be. They call this our former identities. These clothes also link to the shape we want to have later. They call this our hoped-for future bodies. More interestingly, unworn clothes even tie to occasions that never happen. People hold on to these clothes because the imagined relationship with the garment still feels possible. The intentional buyer understands this fantasy self. A blazer bought for a phantom lifestyle hangs in the dark. It becomes a daily reminder of a life you do not live. Intentional buyers choose to buy for the person who gets dressed each morning. They do not buy for the person they imagine becoming. This understanding creates a pause between attraction and purchase. The item must survive a practical test. Wanting a garment for 5 minutes differs from wanting to wear it 50 times. When people visualize their full clothing inventory, they make better choices. This visualization helps them see if a purchase adds something useful. They understand a discount on an unworn shirt does not save money. They also begin to see items that can potentially end up being duplicates of what they already own. Intentional buyers also look past the sales sticker. They calculate value through use. A concept called cost per wear evaluations helps illustrate their process. You take the purchase price of the item. You divide that price by the estimated number of times the item will touch your skin. Under this framework, an item worn regularly offers more practical value than a thrill worn once. And psychological well-being links to this habit. It is associated with intensive and extended use of your existing garments. Well-being is not just about reducing the amount of things we buy. The price of clothing goes beyond the tag. The person who puts thought behind their purchases understands an important truth. Use reveals the true price. To achieve this clarity, the selective buyer decouples two feelings. They separate the high of buying from the desire to wear the item. We view this through the impulse buying conflict. This conflict is a psychological battle between immediate gratification and negative consequences. Sudden urges drive impulse purchases. Visual cues drive these purchases. Promotions drive these purchases. These factors reduce a person's ability to evaluate outcomes. The conflict pits the dopamine reward of the transaction against the regret that follows. People who avoid buying things they won't wear learn to spot this conflict. They recognize the trap. They do not confuse the pleasure of obtaining clothes with the usefulness of owning them. They know a shirt might excite them in the store, but they also know that the same shirt might bore them in the house. These buyers understand that no garment exists in a vacuum. A piece of clothing might look stunning by itself, yet it might demand too much from you. It might require new shoes. It might require a different jacket. It might require a new color palette. This is where wardrobe visualization tools enter the psychology of shopping. These tools help users remember what they own. They allow you to evaluate new purchases against your existing collection. This creates a mindset where you shop your closet first. The intentional shopper evaluates the network of outfits around a single piece. A garment that works with nothing else in your closet is not a single purchase. It is the beginning of 5 more purchases. It starts a chain reaction. It demands money. It demands time. We must also look at the reality of the human body. People abandon clothing because it restricts their movement. They stop wearing items because the fabric irritates their skin. They stop wearing items because the cut makes them feel self-conscious. Consumers repeatedly buy items whose material and shape do not suit their physical reality. This habit leads to zero use. The selective buyer rejects an item that looks impressive on a hanger, but could fail the test of lived comfort. They know clothes are worn by a moving and breathing body, not a motionless mirror. Reaching this level of selectivity takes time. Past shopping mistakes teach the selective buyer. They examine their past clothing failures. They ask themselves why they bought each item. They look at the emotions that drove the purchase. They figure out which styles repeatedly fail them. This reflective process helps people recognize the value of their garments. It sheds light on their broader consumption habits. A closet mistake becomes useful when it teaches you what not to buy. This brings us to the psychology of capsule wardrobes. A capsule wardrobe is a small, carefully chosen collection of clothes that all mix and match. You might think having a small closet feels boring, but research frames dressing with fewer garments as a form of everyday problem solving. A limited closet acts as a creative tool. Because all the pieces work well together, you spend less time worrying about what matches. Having fewer clothes actually pushes you to try new combinations. It encourages experimentation. It does not act as a restriction. It frees you from the stress of a crowded closet and makes getting dressed simple. Having more clothes does not give you more choices. Intentional buyers know this. A full closet makes getting dressed harder. It creates morning stress. It leads to decision fatigue. That means your brain gets tired from making too many choices. Better organization and clear visibility in the closet reduce this tired feeling. This is why the intentional buyer treats the word someday with suspicion. Other people keep unused garments for a fantasy future. They imagine a day when they will wear the item again. But people who shop with intention protect themselves with personal rules. Rules that take into account potential changes in their behavior. These are basically mental strategies used to alter habits. For example, an intentional buyer might always wait for 28 or 48 hours before buying. They might never buy solely because something is discounted. Identify 3 outfits before purchasing. Avoid duplicates. These rules help them plan to buy less. Some people act on a desire to consume only what they need. They don't bring stuff home to sit unused in their closet. By leaving it on the rack, they stop the cycle of buying something they will never actually wear. This reduces the demand for unused items. It stops the production and transport of things we just throw away. Studies call this reduced buying a step for the environment. But true sustainability also means we care for the things we already own. We should not judge people based on this trait. Selective shoppers are not smarter. They are not better than anyone else. Intentionality shifts. It exists on a spectrum. A person might act strict about office-going shirts. That same person might act impulsive about shoes. A rule that helps one person might trap another person. Ultimately, shopping with intention shows self-knowledge. A person who rejects the wrong clothes knows themselves well. They know which shapes they wear. They know which colors look right. They know which fabrics feel good. They know which events actually happen in their life. They do not leave the store saying they lack permission to buy a shirt. They leave knowing they lack a reason to buy it. The strongest shopping filter is knowing your own routine. The best wardrobe is not built on store displays. The best wardrobe is built on clothes you actually wear. The clothes must serve you.